So in the last video we discussed about the money and the advent of money and how money came into existence and who is the issuing authority of money. In this video we will discuss about the other form of money and credit, that is the loan. We will discuss about the loan process of the bank. Before going into the loan, let us see what is bank all about. Let us see what is the role of the bank. The bank actually helps people to save money there. But why will the people save money in the bank? The people who are earning money, they can keep the money with themselves. What is the usage of keeping the money in the bank? The first reason behind keeping money in the bank is that the money is safe. That is the first reason that we keep money in the bank. The first and the most important reason of keeping money in the bank is that the money in the bank is safe in nature. Secondly, when we keep money in the bank gives us the interest. And this interest, the interest gained on the amount, makes people deposit more and more money in the bank. If the bank would not have provided with interests at the end of the year, if the bank would not have provided us with any kind of interest, people would not have taken such amount of hardship to keep the money in the bank. So the money in the bank is kept for the reason of security as well as to gain the interest, which they cannot gain by keeping the money at home. The money does not multiply by keeping at home. The people, they forward the money in the bank because the bank helps them to get interest. Now let us go forward. Now the money which is kept in the bank is called as demand deposit. Why the money in the bank is called as a demand deposit? Because we deposit the money and according to our demand we can withdraw it. Suppose I kept 50,000 amount of rupees in the bank and I am in requirement of 30,000 or 20,000. I can immediately withdraw whenever I require, whenever I need. That is why the money in the bank is called as demand deposit. Now what does the bank do? The bank does not have anything on its own. Bank has nothing of its own. What does the bank do? The amount of money that is saved by the people in the bank, the same amount of money is utilized by the bank in giving loan to the people. The same amount of money is utilized by the bank in giving loan to the people. Now what does the bank earn? Now the earning of the bank, we can see, is that first of all, bank's income. Let us see, how does the bank earn? What is the income of the bank? How do the bank earn? What does the bank give us? How do the bank give us? Whatever the money we have kept in the bank, the amount of money is given as loan. The amount of money is given as loan. The bank knows it very well. The bank knows it very well that the deposit is more, withdraw is less. Bank know it very well that always people want to deposit more and want to withdraw less amount of money. Nobody will deposit 50,000 and will withdraw 1 lakh rupees. Always the people want to withdraw less as possible. They want to save the money in the bank. So the bank also know that and they utilize this criteria or they utilize this situation to make money. What happens? Whatever the money we save in the bank keeps 15% of the amount of our money. Always the bank will keep 15% of the amount in the bank and the rest will be utilized by the bank in giving loan to the people. This loan, the interest which is gained on the loan is the income of the bank. the interest which the bank earn from the loan is the income of the bank. So now what happens? The loan which it gives, they get interest for this, and when we subtract it with the interest of the depositor, we get bank's income. Always the interest taken on the loan is higher than the interest which is given to the depositor. The interest taken on the loan by the bank is higher than the interest which the bank gives it to the depositor. The bank also utilizes the money to invest in the share markets, and whatever the earning they get from there, they also utilize to diversify the money. They pay off the money to the consumers, they pay off the money to the depositors, and the rest, whatever is saved, is the income of the bank. So the bank always has income because they know that the deposit is high and the withdrawal is less. Always the depositors, this is the mentality of the depositor, that they want to deposit high amount of money and want to withdraw less amount of money, and they take the benefit of this situation. They always want to take the benefit of this situation, that whatever the money is deposited, they keep 15% and the rest is utilized in giving loan. The interest which is gained on this loan, from that interest some amount of money as interest is given to the consumer or given to the depositor. This makes the depositor happy. They keep on depositing money in the bank because the money is not going to increase at home. They keep money in the bank because they get interest, and this fulfills the work of the bank. Now the interest, we told that we have utilized the term that is called as demand deposit. We utilize the term that is called as demand deposit. And this demand deposit means that the bank keeps certain amount of money because they know sometimes or the other depositor may come and want to withdraw money for their basic needs. At that point of time they need to give. So they keep a certain amount of money with them and the rest they utilize in giving loan. Now let us see what are the types of loan. Loan is generally of two types. One is called as formal and the other type of loan is called as informal. Whenever the loan is taken from the bank, it is called as formal loan. Whenever we take money or we take loan from the bank, that kind of loan is called as formal loan. And whenever we take loan from our friends, from our relatives, then this kind of loan is called generally as informal loan. You can see this pie chart, and in this chart you can see the amount of informal loan is high than the formal loan. In case of informal loan, people generally prefer to take informal loan than taking the formal loan. Now we are going to discuss this situation. The formal loan means that a loan which is taken from the bank. But why the formal loan taking process is very low? Why it is very less? Because people do not want to go to the bank. First of all, the reason is that fear. Then the other reason is documentation process. There are various reasons. The people fear going to the bank. First of all, in getting loan, the people fear going to the bank, that they have to avail loan. And secondly, the documentation process takes time. They have to fill up a lot amount of documents. People are uneducated. They do not want to go to the bank and fill up large amount of documents. Then they ask for guarantor. In case if you fail to pay the loan, you need to have a guarantor. So it again becomes difficult that from where will you produce guarantor. So because of all these reasons, people do not prefer to take the loan from the formal source. They basically prefer the loan from the informal source. But the problem lies in the informal. What does the problem lie in the informal? The problem that lies in the informal is that you may fall under debt trap. The problem that lies in the informal is that you may fall under the condition of debt trap. Now, what does the debt trap mean? We will try to understand it with an example. That suppose you are a person in the village and you are in requirement. Suppose someone is sick in your family and you are in immediate requirement of 50,000 rupees to get your son or to get the daughter or to get any member of the family admitted in the hospital. In that situation, what happens? You cannot go to the bank and demand for money, that I want loan of 50,000, my family member is sick. The bank will take time, and because of that you run towards the informal source. You may approach a money lender. In the village there can be money lenders, the zamindars, who have plenty amount of money stored with them. And what happens? You fall under the condition of the debt trap. They give you money, but they charge a very high rate of interest. And as you are a daily laborer person, as you are a daily wage earner, what happens is that sometimes or the other, in some month or the other, you fail to pay the interest, and that interest is attached with the principal. That interest gets attached with the principal and it again becomes amount. So whenever you fail to pay the interest, your amount starts to rise. And now what happens? That you have to pay the interest on the amount that has risen up. And in that situation, you are unable to pay the interest, you are unable to pay the principal, and you have to give away something or the other to the money lender. In case if you have land, you have to sell off the land and pay the amount to the money lender. If you have gold, you have to sell off the gold and pay the amount to the money lender. Or otherwise what will happen? You will fall under the debt trap. You will continuously go on giving money to the money lender, and when your amount, when your principal is going to end, you have no understanding. So because of that, the informal source, though it looks effective, but it is very dangerous. It looks effective at any point of time, instantly, quickly you can get the money, but it looks very dangerous. On the other hand, when you take loan from the bank runs on the process of EMI. The bank, they work on the process of EMI. What does EMI mean? EMI stands for equated monthly installment. It stands for equated monthly installment. Now what happens? It is very easy to understand. Suppose you want to purchase a bike and you need a loan from the bank. Suppose you need 50,000 rupees. And the bank says that you will be charged around 6% of interest half yearly, for example. Half yearly. You will be charged 6% of interest half yearly. Now what happens? The bank, what they will do, they will calculate the entire interest in a year. In a year they will calculate. And this entire interest will be added with the principal. And it will be divided with 12. The entire principal as well as the entire interest that is calculated in a year. Half yearly 6%, that means in a year you will pay 12% interest. That will be added and that can be divided with 12. Now suppose you want to pay the loan, the term that you have selected. Suppose you want to pay the loan in 3 years. It will be divided with 36. Now the bank also gives you relaxation. The bank never says that you pay the loan depending on your circumstances. If you are able to pay the loan in a year, that means it depends upon you. The bank will ask you when you in how many years are you willing to pay. So if you are selecting the term that okay, I can pay in 3 years, suppose I can pay in 1 year, it will be divided with 12. If you can pay in 3 years, it will be divided with 36. If you can pay in 2 years, it will be divided with 24. And what happens, it is the equated monthly installment. What happens, your interest is also paid off, as well as your principal also gets reduced, and within that limited amount of time, both your principal as well as your interest is cleared and nothing is left in your hand to pay to the bank. So in this way, the bank never makes you fall under the problem of debt trap. The bank also helps you to give the money even in advance. Suppose you have earned a more amount of money, you can pay it off to the bank immediately. Suppose you have fixed the tenure for 3 years, but suppose somewhere or the other you earned some amount of money, you can pay it to the bank and your loan gets reduced. So that is also one of the benefit that the bank gives you. The bank also gives you window of opportunity. What is window of opportunity? Is that if you fail to pay the interest, the bank is not going to charge you maximum. The bank will give you notice. The bank will ask you to repay. The bank will call you and they will warn you. So that also benefit you enjoy, that even if you fail to repay, the bank is there to support you, to understand your situation, to understand your problem. In this way, we can see that formal loan is the most effective loan, but people generally prefer to take informal. Now, the problem is that in case of informal, there is no documentation. And as most of the population in our country is uneducated, they prefer to go to the informal source. Now, I have written down here what is the role of the bank in case of formal loan. The bank, what can the role the bank play to give, to increase this data? This is very less, this is very high. What role that the bank can play to increase the ground of the formal loan? To increase the ground of the formal loan, the bank must come forward and reach out to the people. Now you are seeing that this is the time when you are seeing that COVID-19 situation is going on, and how did people come to know about the situation? What role they have to play, what steps they have to take, what kind of rules and regulations they have to maintain. This all came by the process of awareness. This all came by the process of awareness. Awareness is the only solution to increase the formal loan policy. Awareness is the only solution to increase the formal loan policy. The bank should regularly, time to time, open up canopies, and they should invite the people to ask their queries. First of all, this can be done. The documentation process should be reduced. The bank should welcome the person who wants to take the loan and should bring out easy and effective steps so that these loans can be easily forwarded. So this can be done by the bank in order to increase the formal loan ground. So this is the role of the bank that the bank can play in case of increasing the formal loans. Lastly, but not the least, we will discuss about the SHG or the self-help group. You might be asked to write down a short note on self-help group. What can you write about the self-help group? What do you understand by the concept of SHG? Now, SHG is a group of 15 to 20 members in a village, and their most important aim is to save money. How much they can save? They generally save 25 to 100 rupees. A SHG can be a group of 15 to 20 members whose aim is to make a regularly savings they can do. How much? That can range from 25 to 100 rupees. Suppose I will give you an example. Suppose there is a group of SHG. And it is a group of 15 to 20 member. What they do is they save money 25 to 100 rupees in between. Suppose they save 30 rupees daily. Suppose it is a 20 member group. How much do they save daily? 600 rupees. And how much do they save in a month? Around 18,000 rupees. And how much do they save in a year? It will be somewhere around 2 lakh rupees. Now, this kind of concept, the concept of SHG, was started in Bangladesh. For the first time, it was started by Muhammad Yunus in the Jobra district of Bangladesh. And because of this SHG concept, it is a concept of microeconomics, not macroeconomics, it is a concept of microeconomics. And because of introducing SHG, Muhammad Yunus was awarded with Nobel Peace Prize, and he was also made the chairman of the Grameen Bank of Bangladesh. Now let us go through the concept of SHG. A SHG is a group of 15 to 20 members making regular savings, that is making daily savings, maybe around 30 rupees. It is 600 rupees daily, 18,000 rupees a month, and in a year it can merge up to 2 lakh rupees. A SHG may have a president and a secretary. And what they do is they open up joint account in the bank. You have opened up a joint account in the bank, and because you made regular saving, 30 rupees is worth valuable. You can, if your daily expenditure is 50 rupees, 60 rupees, 70 rupees, you can cut down your daily expenditure and you can save from there 30 rupees. Now what happens at the end of the year? 2 lakh rupees is in your joint account, and because of your regular saving, the bank sees that this group is saving money. Because of that, you can be forwarded with loan. You can be provided with loan. That loan will help you to establish any kind of farm. Suppose you can open up a poultry farm, you can open up a piggery farm, you can open up a cow farm, you can open up a sewing center. So it is a criteria, or it is a chance of rural development. It is a process of rural development. Why I am saying rural development? Because you made a little contribution, because of which you saved a huge amount of money in the bank. The bank sees that you are a regular saver, and the bank will easily give you loan. That loan you can utilize to open up such kind of centers, and that will help you to earn maximum amount of money. You can repay, and also the bank sees that if you are repaying in a healthy manner, the bank will again and again give you loan. Not only this, the SHG also looks after various other things. As I told, in case of informal loan, you fall under the debt of the money lender. If you are a member of the SHG, at any point of time, if you are in problem, the SHG will come forward and will give you help. The SHG will come forward and help you in solving your problems. So that is the role of the SHG. They can give you money whenever you are in problem or whenever you are in requirement. So that role is played by SHG in a very effective manner. The SHG also conduct trade fairs. The SHGs can be helped by various NGOs, by the various social organizations. the SHGs can be trained, and these SHGs now they can perform selling of, they can make different kind of substances at home, like they can make candles, they can make soap, they can weave, they can make incense sticks, different kinds of commodities which can be sold in fairs, and because of which they can earn money. In this way, SHG help a lot in the rural development. Thank you.